Yo, 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 yo. What's good with it, man? It's the homie Mac, music, art, culture, knowledge. Reporting live from the Dogon. Each one, teach one, peace and love. Like, share, comment, subscribe as always. Share this. Um, Subscribe to the YouTube channel 82 Kings. It's the homie Mac, man. Again, reporting live from the Dogon. Yeah, this is a session of Mac Minutes. Let's get right to it. September 1st of this year, which was what, 4 days ago, I believe? Let's see. No, actually, 6 days ago. Texas just passed a law called Senate Bill 8, which essentially, I don't want to say it's the exact same, but it mirrors the heartbeat bill in Georgia. But essentially, Senate Bill 8, as you know, I live in Georgia, Atlanta. Specifically, Senate Bill 8 makes it so that a woman cannot have an abortion after 6 weeks. The reason why this is problematic is because a lot of people don't know. A lot of women don't know they are pregnant that soon. So essentially, with this policy that's been put into effect, it would foster. Can you believe that? Phone went off. It would foster a lot of unwanted pregnancies. Essentially, concerning the matter, whether you're pro-choice or pro-life, I personally am not in favor of abortion, but it's one of those things where I feel like I don't really have a say. I'm a man. I'm not going through the trimesters and all that stuff. I feel like ultimately it should be a woman's choice. The thing that's very, but enough about me. The thing that's very unique about Senate Bill 8 is the fact that more or less it deputizes citizens. And when I say deputizes citizens, it's kind of like on some Wyatt Earp kick, vigilante justice. Not as far as vigilante in the sense of being like Batman or anything like that, but it gives everyone agency to tell on people who are either performing an abortion or aiding and abetting an abortion. So this essentially affects physicians, nurses, clinics. It actually could pit family member against family member. The incentive, I guess, the incentive behind people telling on other people who are either performing their abortion or aiding and abetting is they get over $10,000. You can literally get quick money by telling on somebody who's either aiding and abetting an abortion or performing an abortion. So that's, I guess for an example, like let's say Lisa's going to get an abortion. Lisa tells her auntie. Her auntie plays it cool. But Lisa gets a ride to get the abortion by her, her friend, whoever her friend may be. So this person gives Lisa a ride to the abortion clinic, and essentially all parties involved can be sued. I think this is very ominous, this policy, because I think when you do things like this, it can put people's back in the corner, and I think it can get back to the whole coat hanger thing, where people will start trying to do these makeshift abortions, which is dangerous, which can cause women to bleed out and die. That's not cool. Essentially, I feel like women, a lot of women's agency is taken away. They don't have much recourse under this bill. Because again, a lot of people don't know, a lot of women specifically do not realize that they're pregnant within this, the context of the time frame, 6 weeks. Because you can't have an abortion, because the law says you can't have an abortion past 6 weeks. Up until 6 weeks. I guess the Supreme Court didn't block this bill, but I'm thinking that this definitely was going to be challenged. It's going to be up for review. We'll see what happens. As you know, Texas is primarily a conservative state, but it's interesting because the social dynamics of Texas are changing somewhat. A lot of people are moving there for their industry. They don't have state income tax. So I'm sure at some point, you got Austin. Austin, Texas is nothing like the rest of the state of Texas. I would say Austin is probably like the closest thing to Silicon Valley outside of Silicon Valley. But yeah, and then I think, also with this law, if you're raped, you have to go through with you have to go through with the birth. You can't have an abortion. There isn't any exception. There's not. If you're raped, if it's incest, anything of that nature, you still have to go through and give birth up until that 6-week period. Or if you go past it, up until that 6-week period, you would have to. If you go past that 6-week period, you have to keep going. You have to give birth. I don't think that's cool. I don't think it's fair. But I think I understand the anger that a lot of women have. I saw a post on Facebook where it said this girl was. What did this woman say? She said all the men in Texas need to be castrated. I understand the frustration, but I don't like it when people I don't like it when it turns into like this man versus woman thing and this gender war, and then people make extreme comments like that. I think it causes so much division. There's already so much strife between men and women in general, especially concerning social issues. I do concede to the fact that a lot of women have not had a lot of agency in the political realm throughout the years. At one point, women were essentially considered a man's property. So I understand that this is a buildup of a lot of injustices that women have incurred, but there has to be a healthy way to confront this. It's kind of like I can't remember who said it, but they said there'll never be no one will ever win the battle of the sexes because there's too much fraternizing between the enemy. I can't remember who said that. But yeah, this is draconian policy. I heard that Mississippi is up for review with their abortion law, or more or less, they're gonna alter their abortion laws, and we'll see which direction they go in. I think they're gonna have a lot of other conservative states that are gonna try to mirror Senate Bill 8. Some people would say, well, just go out of state. If you want to get an abortion in Texas, just go out of state. But you got to remember, the people are going to go from having, I think they said maybe at the most you may have to go 2 to 12 miles to get an abortion. But now with this new bill in place, you may have to go over 248 miles. You may not be mobile like that. You may not have the means by which to travel to another state. Yeah. But one of the things that I really want to say is I feel like we have failed our boys, we have failed our men. And with that, I know from the time I was a little boy, it was always sex was like a tool of conquest, or it was taught like your manhood is verified or becomes viable, whatever, through sex. And I feel like a lot of men have not been taught to respect their own bodies. I think the sanctity of a woman's body is something that was kind of always foisted upon me, but I never really took the time to think, well, what about my body? What about me being selective about who I have sex with? What about me using contraceptives? And I just feel like prevention is better than cure. A lot of things need to be stopped before it gets to that point where I just feel like there's a lot of things that need to be checked off before we get to abortion. Again, I do feel like it's a woman's right to choose whichever she wants to do, whichever route she wants to go. She has that agency. She should be able to do that. But what kind of concerns me is when you have some women who they use abortion as a means of birth control. You know, I've met women who've had 5 and 6 abortions. I don't think that's cool. But you know, that's not I'm not judging nobody. I've just seen the psychological impact that's had on certain women by having multiple abortions. The depression, the guilt that ensues as time goes on. Like I've seen that firsthand, and it's not good. I don't know. I remember reading somewhere it said that sex is like a hit of heroin to your frontal lobe. Your frontal lobe essentially is what regulates your critical thinking skills, your ability to make decisions. And I don't know, maybe somewhere between a man's erection and a woman getting clitoral stimulation, people just become stupid. You know, and then you got a lot of people who like to use drugs during sex or get drunk. So a lot of times I think people get caught in the moment not realizing that that decision that they just made to have unprotected sex is something that's going to resonate beyond that moment. I think a lot of us have been there, caught up in the moment. But I think abortion becomes a bad thing when it becomes a means of birth control. Some people may hate me for saying that. It is what it is. But again, I don't think it's my place as a man. I don't think women's bodies should be regulated. But at the same time, I think, again, there's a whole list of things that need to be checked off prior to you even having sex with the person and prior to a pregnancy. You know, there's a lot of things. I think people need to be more... I don't always like this narrative that women are always the victim. I think in a lot of cases they are. But it's two, outside of rape, it's two consenting adults coming together to have sex. Conversations need to be had. And people need to, I understand. It's so weird because we're in this time where a lot of people want to promote a whole culture under the guise of a woman owning her own body and doing what she wants to do and being sexually liberated. I get it, but let's also talk about the responsibility that needs to happen and take place with that freedom as well. I think, again, men and women we both need to be more selective about who we sleep with, especially who we sleep with unprotected. I'm no saint. There are things that I've done that people that women that I slept with that I had no business dealing with. And that's not me speaking from a point of being condescending. It's just our personalities did not match. Our life goals a lot of times did not match. We just weren't equally yoked. And I think, sex is a pleasurable thing, but people need to be more responsible. I think there's a lot of... It's just crazy how that moment of pleasure can just leave an indelible mark on your life, be it good or bad, Like, you can bring another life into this world. You can... it's just something that leaves an indelible mark again. I hope the thing that just scares me about this bill, SB 8, I feel like it's gonna turn people against each other. Man, I need some money. I know what's her name is about to get an abortion. She told me, I heard, or let me camp out in front of an abortion clinic or something, and try to hustle up these 10 bands that you'll get. Again, I said it deputizes citizens. So you might have a lot of people going on witch hunts for people who are nurses or doctors that perform abortions, or clinics. I do think there needs to be a stronger push for sexual education, a stronger push for, I think, let me stop before I go there. I want to say, the thing that I don't like about our society is we're becoming increasingly hypersexual. You see it on Instagram, you see it on Facebook, social media, what have you, TV, movies. I just feel like we're I feel like we're selling this fantasy of what sex is like, you know, and I see the effect that it has on kids and the effect that it has on adults as well, you know, and I think to a great extent, sex has probably always been a form of escapism, but I feel like it's like accentuated that much more, because the kids are exposed to it more quickly, more readily. It's like that. You don't even have to look hard to find it. And again, I think they're only getting part of the narrative. We're getting the pleasure part or the pleasure points, but we don't stress responsibility at all. I mean, even with alcohol commercials, they always say drink responsibly. But I guess what I'm saying is there needs to be some point of reality that's pushed. And I know we have Planned Parenthood and they do sexual education and things like that. But just as a whole, monolithically, I don't think there's enough emphasis placed on responsibility and accountability. Accountability amongst women, accountability amongst men. Yeah, but this is the homie Mac. Each one, teach one, peace and love. Signing out from the Dogon. I think this bill, SB 8, definitely needs to be up for review. A lot of things need to be changed. I think, again, lastly, it essentially, SB 8, I feel like it nullifies Roe versus Wade. And we know Roe versus Wade is what gave women the agency to, the constitutional agency to have abortions. But I think SB 8 is very draconian. We'll see what happens. Again, it's the homie Mac. Music, art, culture, knowledge. Each one, teach one, peace and love. Signing out from the Dogon. I'm out.